and Danica Prim, just 4 of the Rhinos' new recruits who have joined Leeds from the Bradford Bulls. It's the Super League season opener between the Bradford Bulls and the Leeds Rhinos, 2 of Rugby League's biggest brands, going head to head as a famous rivalry is reignited for your viewing pleasure here at Odsall. We're going out on Proper Sport, Bulls Live. As always, keep your comments coming, we'll read them out just as we can, and it's got to be said, fantastic crowd here. Got to be close to 3,000 supporters who've turned up for the main event here. Bradford Bulls against the Leeds Rhinos. Let's go through the 2 sides. Bradford line up. Fullback Savannah Andrade, wing 3/4 line, Hayley May Heald, Amy Hardcastle, Jess Courtman and Leah Jones. The halves Claire Garner and Stacey Greenwood. Front row forwards Lauren Hickey, Kirsty Maroney, Debbie Smith, Heather McDonald and Shona Hoyle, and the loose forward is Rachel Twibble. And we've just got proceedings underway, and the first tackle of the new Women's Super League season is taken there by Bradford Bulls number 10, Debbie Smith, just shy of her own 10, and here goes Savannah Andrade out of dummy half. She's going to be brought down by Danielle Anderson for the Leeds Rhinos. We'll go through the Leeds Rhinos side after Bradford have had first use of the ball, and immediately the Bulls making meters forward, just up to their own 40 now after a big strong charge down the middle. Kirsty Maroney in there at dummy half. She's going to find Stacey Greenwood along the line, and Rachel Twibble's going to be upended on the 5th and last tackle. Here goes Kirsty Maroney. Out to Greenwood putting boot to ball. It's been juggled backwards by Sophie Robinson on the far stand side, and Leeds Rhinos will line up as follows. Charlotte Booth at fullback, Susie Hill, Menina Spur, Megan Price and Sophie Robinson, your wing 3/4 line. The halves are going to be Hannah Butcher and Rhiannon Marshall, and the front row forwards Danielle Anderson, Lewis Fussell, Danica Prim, Avie Staveley, Beth Lockwood and Shannon Lacey. On the interchange bench for Adam Cuthbertson's side, Amy Johnson, Frankie Townsend, Larissa Deeves and Caitlin Beavers. The referee is Simon Ellis. Tom, thank you for joining us.
No worries, I figured you'd need another voice pick, but here we are, of course, start of the Women's Super League. Very excited to see how both these sides go on. Bradford, of course, doing so well last season. Leeds, their first season out, made the season out, and they could be in here.
Chance on this main stand side. The referee says it's gone backwards. Charlotte Booth has it at fullback. It was the last tackle, it was the power play, and the Leeds going close early doors. So Bradford, they will play the ball on their own 5-metre line, and as we said, Bradford Bulls defeated Coventry Bears by 52 points to 6 in the curtain raiser. This the main event, and people on the terraces, in the stands, in the hospitality, enjoying this one. Bulls Live, Proper Sport. Keep your comments coming, and we'll certainly do that and read as many as we can. But Bradford have come up with an error, and they've put themselves under a little bit of pressure, as Shannon Lacey is going to be brought down just shy of the try line. Good solid defence there from the Bradford Bulls, as Danielle Anderson was wrapped up and turned in the tackle by Amy Hardcastle and Savannah Andrade. So Leeds will go back to the 10 and they'll play the ball, and it's a neat little layoff. It goes to the Danica Prim, who missed the majority of last season out with injury. She gets up, plays the ball. Lewis Fussell out of dummy half. And there's going to be an early try here for the Leeds Rhinos, number 19. And she's touched down. And I think it's a try there for Beth Lockwood. I'm not sure because the team sheet doesn't match the numbers. We've got to be honest, Tom.
From the looks of it, though, Lois Fussell was saying straight away that's a try. Referee, about 2 seconds later, confirmed it, puts his hands in the air, and Leeds get the first points of the board. And I think from the looks of it is Beth Lockwood. So first point, first blood to Leeds Rhinos. Good to see that so many people are still sticking around for this double header. Of course, joining us live on Proper Sport.
Well, we're just waiting for the tannoy announcer to actually give the try.
That was Rhiannon Marshall.
Rhiannon Marshall with the opening try for the Leeds Rhinos. We've had 3.5 minutes gone here at Odsall, and Rhiannon Marshall will attempt the conversion herself. A very unorthodox kicking, Tom. She's moving the ball right back to the 20, so she obviously likes to get a good bit of distance on the kick.
Keen to see how the sort of kicking style that she uses here, because clearly she's got confidence to bring it this far back. So we'll wait and see. Of course, we've talked about it all the time. John Keys, just when we were talking about the Coventry game, the importance of turning the 4 into 6 by having a good kicker. So Leeds can really get themselves stamped into the game early on here.
Rhiannon Marshall, just to the right-hand side of the uprights, in front of the South Bank suite, strikes the ball with the left boot. That one sails between the posts, and it is Bradford Bulls 0, Leeds Rhinos in their first ever professional game, leading their arch enemy by 6 points to 0. And it's got to be said, with so many former Bradford players in this Leeds side, the Bradford Bulls side of 2016, won't say quite cannibalised, but a lot of the other clubs, they've gone after the star players. But Mark Prescott, the Bradford Bulls head coach, when I spoke to him on Wednesday evening, he's still happy and confident that he's got a side that he can put out there that can compete with the very best. And of course, a lot of these young Bradford players like Savannah Andrade, Leah Jones, they've actually never tasted defeat in their professional career after going the whole of 2017 undefeated.
I'm keen to see how Bradford Bulls, of course, you're talking about it there. It's almost a mini rebuild job, isn't it, Mick? So keen to see how they get on today. Jodie Curry was on television there the past couple of days, like Super League, Golden Point, things like that, talking about the quality and potential of this game. So really looking forward to it.
Leeds on the restart. Lewis Fussell out of dummy half. She's going to give it to Prim. And Prim, one of 9 England internationals out there on the field, either playing for the red, amber and black of the Bulls or the yellow and blue of the Rhinos. And Fussell straight in there at dummy half, up and over halfway, sucking in that Bradford Bulls defence. But Leah Jones, ball and all tackle. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Fussell, she's going to kick towards Savannah Andrade. She's only 18. She's lost the ball in the tackle. Leeds have now coughed it up on the free play. First error for the Bradford Bulls, and they've put themselves under more pressure. Scrum, head and feet to the Rhinos. 10 metres out. 2 early errors there from the Bulls.
And that kick from Forsell, the way that the ball was spinning, it was always going to be difficult to sort of manage. I don't know how much the pitches have been affected by the rain from the last, obviously, game, but you know, we're going to be slippy. Plenty of people in the comments were saying, is the ball a bar of soap?
Barbara Batten, come on girls, you can do what the Bulls first team have just done. Leeds moving the ball with Hannah Butcher over on that left-hand edge. Claire Gardner and Stacey Greenwood in a 2-man tackle. And once again, Rhiannon Marshall trying to unlock this Bulls defence. Lewis Fussell to Lockwood. Beth Lockwood brought down in a 2-women tackle, and Stacey Greenwood there with a marker defence on point. Leeds currently lead by 6 points to 0. The second row forward there, Amy Staveley, brought down a metre shy of the line on the 4th tackle. Lewis Fussell is going to squeeze over from dummy half, and the Leeds Rhinos lead the Bradford Bulls here by 10 points to 0. We've had 8 minutes on the clock.
You can't beat just powering over from about 5 metres out, just diving, getting straight in. Lovely job from Forsell. And Leeds already really putting their firm grip on this game. Adam Cuthbertson's side, obviously, I'm expecting a lot of, maybe it's because I'm expecting Adam Cuthbertson's play style to come into his coaching style, Mick, and the way that Cuthbert sort of throws the ball offload a lot, so I'm expecting maybe some offloads from the Rhinos, and we haven't really seen many yet.
Well, the inclement weather, that'll have a bearing on proceedings, but Lewis Fussell She won everything with the Bradford Bulls in 2017. She'll enjoy that one. She crossed the divide. And Leeds, are they about to have an extra 2 points on the scoreboard? Rhiannon Marshall from in front, 12-0. Adam Cuthbertson's Rhinos lead the Bulls at Odsall. It's got to be said, the Bulls going into this game, Tom, slight favourites, but with so many former Bradford players and England internationals in this Leeds side, you could call it squash, but the Bulls, they've given themselves a 12-0 handicap early doors, and that won't be pleasing head coach Mark Prescott. The restart, an almighty kick there from Claire Garner, juggled on the fly by Rhiannon Marshall, and Marshall going to give it there to Beth Lockwood. Lockwood's wrapped up on tackle number 1. They're going to come towards this main stand side. A big collision there. And Leeds 15 shy of the halfway line. Amy Staveley on the second carry. Here goes Lewis Fussell. Lewis Fussell to Shannon Lacey. Lacey's going to be brought down just shy of the halfway line. On the third tackle, referee Simon Ellis urging the Bulls to get back the 10. And there's an error there from the Rhinos. And that will be a scrum, head and feet to the Bulls inside the Leeds half. And a first chance, a first opportunity of the afternoon for the Bulls to post some points on the board. We've had exactly 12 minutes gone, and it is Bradford trailing 12-0. But they'll have a chance here, Tom.
Yeah, I think if Rhinos going to make mistakes and obviously let go of the ball, Bulls should need to make the most of these opportunities, given that they're 12-0 down.
From the scrum, Bradford come on this left-hand edge. They're brought down on their own 40. First penalty of the game goes the way of the Bulls. Hands on in at the ruck, and Shannon Lacey and Menina Spur hold their hands up and apologise to the teammates. And Bradford,
great kick.
Find touch, 10 out from the Rhinos line. Bulls live, proper sport. Chloe and McCarthy, come on the Rhinos. They've got to do a bit of defending, Chloe. Quick tap. Oohs and ahs as Amy Hardcastle wrapped up there on tackle number 1. Quick play of the ball. It's going to go from Kirsty Maroney. Maroney's going to find Debbie Smith, the England international, wrapped up a metre shy of the line. Maroney to Garner. Garner along the line to Greenwood. And Stacey Greenwood's lost her footing there, but that was a great tackle from Hannah Butcher. Bradford moved the ball on that right-hand edge, and they're going to try and penetrate out wide on... That's a great, once again, great defence early doors from the Rhinos. Bradford via Maroney. Maroney to Greenwood. Greenwood absolutely clattered there by Anderson. Last tackle for the Bulls. 5 out from the line. Amy Hardcastle tries to go over from dummy half, and she is upended a metre shy. And that was the first real test of this Leeds Rhinos defensive line. And Adam Cuthbertson's side have passed with flying colours. 14 minutes gone. It is Bradford Bulls 0, Leeds Rhinos 12.
Danielle Anderson with an absolute huge hit there. It just sort of shows the sort of need to have a good goal line D, and they did great there, Leeds Rhinos.
Paul Daly comments, great defence. And the crowd getting a little bit excited as Debbie Smith puts the big don't argue in on Shannon Lacey. It's hotting up here, and thankfully the rain just slightly easing off now, and hopefully dry weather footballers. Rhiannon Marshall manages to give the ball to Amy Staveley. Staveley gets to her feet, plays the ball, 15 shy of the halfway line. Rhiannon Marshall's going to be wrapped up in a 2 tackle there, led by Kirsty Maroney and Shona Hoyle. The kick comes in from Lewis Fussell. It's out on the full. The Bulls will have the ball just inside the Rhinos half. Bulls 0, Rhinos 12. What a great start to the Women's Super League season. And it's also great to see Sky Sports and the BBC here, Tom. Proper sports and Bulls Live. We're giving the women's game great exposure in 2018. But it's great to see some of the more established broadcasters as well here.
Oh, absolutely. You want more coverage. It's just getting bigger and bigger, isn't it? And I talked about Jodie Cunningham a little bit earlier. She says it's the biggest it's felt ever. So definitely great to see, and hopefully they can keep it up for the rest of the season.
Damien Irvine, Prom Cronulla CEO, listening in and watching. Great calling from Tom and Mick. Shona Hoyle brought down, 25 out from the Rhinos line. Quick play the ball. Maroney in at dummy half. Along the line, it's going to go with Greenwood to Garner, Garner to Greenwood again, and Greenwood's lost a little bit of momentum, and she's wrapped up there by Danielle Anderson, who's really throwing her weight around early doors here as Bradford on that right-hand edge, oohs and ahs from Tom, so too from the spectators as Bradford on that last tackle now, 20 out, Kirsty Maroney on the power play. Bradford looking to get the ball out wide, but once again, Leeds scrambling, edge defence on point, and that will extinguish that Bradford Bulls attacking raid. 16 minutes gone here at Odsal. Bulls Live, a proper sport, and it's Leeds still leading by 12 points to nil after early tries from Marshall and Fussell. The game's calmed down a little bit, Tom. It's into that arm wrestle period. Yeah. Although there's a break here from the Rhinos. Great tackle on the halfway line, and that was a great run from Charlotte Booth, who was plying a trade here at Odsal in 2017. But what a great tackle by Leah Jones on the left wing for the Bulls. But the danger not over yet. The Rhinos, they're coming thick and fast as Booth finds Prim. Prim wrapped up. Two tackle defenders there. The 25 out from the Bradford line. Centre of the field as Danielle Anderson fronts up. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Lewis Fussell probing out of dummy half. Lewis Fussell draws in the support. But the Bulls scrambling defence is going to stop the Nina Spur from touching down. It remains 12 points to nil.
That was fantastically held up from the Bradford Bulls there. Brilliant to see. You thought it was all, in for a third Rhinos try, but well done. And they keep themselves in this game.
Ethel Phillips, Leeds looking like an improved side from their pre-season friendly against Castleford Tigers. Early tries, Ethel, from Marshall and Fussell. And the Rhinos with all the momentum at this moment in time. Here goes Shona Hoyle. Hoyle's going to be brought down by Shannon Lacey. The Rhinos loose forward. 25 shy of halfway. Maroney towards this main stand side. And here come the balls. It's Leah Jones. Leah Jones can't get past Charlotte Booth. And she's wrapped up on the Rhinos 40. 10 metres inside the Rhinos half. Quick play the ball as it goes from Maroney. Maroney along the line to Garner. Garner's found Smith, and Debbie Smith is upended. And she's caught high, but the referee playing the advantage. And here come the Bulls down the middle channel. Last tackle, Lauren Hickey. Another one of these England internationals wrapped up, 25 out from the Leeds line. They're going on the power play again. Can the Bulls get the kick in? They've come up with the error over on that right-hand edge, and it's Jess Cortman who just knocked the ball on. I think it's going to be a scrum headed feet to Leeds here, Tom.
Yeah, disappointing, but Leah Jones with a fantastic run there. She was like on a balance beam here on the left edge, but she did really, really well. And then it's just a shame that Bulls couldn't really make anything from that. Good little bit of hands going on towards the right, but bit of a knock on again. The ball maybe a bit slipper.
So the referee just allowing Leeds to sit there attacking platform. Bradford Bulls head coach Matt Prescott just watching on from the touchline. Annan Cuthbertson's got a big smile on his face. He didn't have a smile on his face on Friday night when Sam Tompkins ended Wigan's hoodoo at Headingley, but potentially it's left to the women. 10 shy of the halfway line for Sell. To Prim, and Daninka Prim is flattened and clattened by Debbie Smith. No love lost there between two former teammates. Here goes Rhiannon Marshall. Marshall sucks in the support. Lewis Fussell has got the toe on Savannah Andrade. And Lewis Fussell, a dream debut for the Leeds Rhinos. A second try, and the Rhinos further extend the lead. 20 minutes gone, 16-0 to the Rhinos.
She's been featured a lot in the sort of media and sort of almost one of the faces of the Women's Super League is Lewis Forsell, and it's clear to see why. Truly talented as she showcased last season, but that real great run there. I was interested in the battle of the tens there, Debbie Smith versus Danica Prim. I thought that was really interesting, but Forsell managing to get the pace on the fullback for Bradford. What did you say it was Andrade Mick? So good run, good pace, and Rhinos really good value for this at the moment. And again, Marshall moving the ball even further back than you probably should, around 12-metre line.
Carl Ralton says either of these sides would beat Widnes.
Bit harsh.
Paul Lambert, Super Leeds. Ian Reid, great try. Come on, Leeds. Lisa Taylor, Leeds. And as we know, Lewis Forsell, the RFL Women's Development Officer, and when she's trying to get interest in getting the future generation of girls to play Women's Rugby League, she can show that on the highlights reel. Rhiannon Marshall from in front. Free from 3 attempts, 18 points to 0. The Bulls trail, 19 minutes to go to half time.
It's been a great start for the Rhinos though, Mick. I mean, Bradford, they've looked okay at times, a little bit sloppier to start with, but again, maybe that might be down to the conditions, but they certainly improved since the end of the Coventry and the Bradford and Coventry game.
The restart taken by Marshall. Flat pass on the Rhinos 20. Tim Griffiths asking a very valid point. Are there any other teams who've got siblings in the men's and women teams, a la Jordan Andrade and Savannah Andrade? If anybody knows the answer to that, why not? I'm struggling to think. Leeds. Just shy of the halfway line. They're going to surge forward. Rhiannon Marshall, not only is she kicking the goals this afternoon, she's going through a lot of work, and there's been a bit of a head clash there as the Bulls left centre, Jess Cortman, just gets back in the defensive line. Time back on, Lewis Forsell marshalling the troops as it goes to Menina Spur. Spur wrapped up on the last tackle. Leah Jones in defence there for the Bulls. Lewis Forsell tries the up and under. It's been knocked on by the Bulls, and the referee might say first knock on Leeds here. Just looking to see what the decision's going to be.
Scrum.
Head and feet to the Leeds Rhinos. Some more pressure that the Bulls have put themselves under here. A fifth error inside the opening 25 minutes. And I've got to say, anyone expecting a close one, Tom, it's a bit of a shock to the system.
Yeah, definitely. After Spur played the ball, I thought Forsell's kick was a bit too short, but obviously judged from the Bradford Bulls to have knocked on by the ref, and scrum head and feed, of course, to Rhinos. Obviously, 20 metres out, this is a great opportunity for them to even add more further points to the board.
Jamie Dion has answered the question. Lee Gilmore and Nat Gilmore. So, Leeds. Charlotte Booth to Forsell. Forsell along the line. It's a fourth try for the Rhinos. It was Forsell to Spur, and Spur will send in Sophie Robinson at the corner. The Bulls' right-hand edge. It was stretched and they just ran out of room. But it is a fourth try for the Rhinos.
You see it all the time, of course, when you've got just numbers and you've got that winger that's got that little bit more room than you'd hope for a winger, and so Robinson takes that, goes in, makes no issues about it by diving in. Rhinos looking absolutely fantastic for the start of this game. We've still got 18 minutes to go, so really interesting to see. Rhiannon Marshall, obviously 20 metres out now. She's been really good with the boot so far, but this is probably her toughest kick yet.
22 minutes gone on the clock. And who would have predicted the Leeds Rhinos leading the Bradford Bulls by 4 tries and 22 points to 0?
Interestingly, Adam Cuthbertson there having a quick word with Marshall, actually.
Adam Cuthbertson wearing the Rhinos tracksuit, perhaps offering a little bit of advice on this difficult touchline conversion. Left-footed, yet to miss this afternoon at Odsall. Rhiannon Marshall with that lucky left boot, and it's going to cross the face. So Bradford Bulls 0, Leeds Rhinos 22. Bulls Live, proper sport. And the big crowd that have stayed behind to watch this game, Tom, I don't know. They've certainly been kept quiet.
Well, the Leeds Rhinos fans that have travelled have certainly been treated so far, but not so much for the Bradford Bulls fans. But great to see so many people sticking around for a double-header here at Hodsall.
Referee puts whistle to lips. The restart from Claire Garner. And immediately the Rhinos come back towards the Bulls, and Leeds are going to be awarded their first penalty of the afternoon. And the referee is going to say high tackle to Simon Ellis. Lewis Fussell going to find touch just shy of halfway.
Nearly hurt cheerleader.
Richard Langhorne, come on you Bulls. Michael Ackroyd, the Rhinos players seem to know the pitch like the back of the hand. And they've come up with an error there. Rhiannon Marshall, was it over on the left hand edge? Incorrect play of the ball. A second error for the Rhinos. Well, it's got to be said, Charlotte Booth, Menina Spur, Lewis Fussell, Danica Prim, 4 of the double winning undefeated women's side of last season now turning out for the Leeds Rhinos. And Bradford, they'll just be looking to have a clean set of 6 and build a bit of momentum. So from the scrum, it's going to be taken out by Amy Hardcastle. Here goes Amy Hardcastle. Amy Hardcastle injecting a bit of pace into the Bulls' attack. She'll get up and play the ball. 30 out from the line. Along the line it's going to go to Hoyle. And Hoyle's wrapped up on the second tackle. Bradford 30 away from the Rhinos line. Maroney to Cheryl Armitage. Armitage wrapped up there by Caitlin Beavers. Here goes Maroney. Maroney attacking that marker defence, and Fussell and Maroney getting tangled up on the Rhinos 20. A bit of a loose pass there, picked up by Cortman. Cortman looks to offload the ball in the tackle, and she's going to be wrapped up. 15 out from the Rhinos line on the 5th and last tackle. 10 in from this main stand side as it goes from Fussell to Garner. Garner putting pressure in. The Bulls are going to score. Amy Hardcastle. She's touched down, has she? The touch judge has stood his ground. This one might be chalked off. It was almighty hoof from Claire Garner, and it looks like the Rhinos winger lost the ball. It went backwards. Amy Hardcastle agonisingly close. It will, of course, be a scrum, head and feet to the Bulls. The first error from the Rhinos. And that brought a bit of life and excitement into this big Hodsall crowd.
Yeah, it's for me, I thought that it was the best opportunity the Bulls have had so far. With 14 minutes to go in this half, you'd be hoping that they try and get on the board very, very soon. Otherwise, they could be looking down the barrel of a whitewash.
Bradford hunting first points along the line to Cortman. Cortman to Jones, and Leah Jones has brought delight to the big Hodsall crowd. The Bulls show recovery, but game back on at Hodsall. 22 points to 4 the trail, but they've come up with a crucial score. 13 minutes out from half time. Plenty of life in this one yet, Tom.
Oh, definitely. I was saying it just before they scored that they need to get in on this one, otherwise they're not going to be able to get a firm foothold in the game, and they've done that. Game pretty much back on, and if they get the extra 2, we could be in for a cracking close for the first half.
Claire Garner still on kicking duties in 2018, and it's worth pointing out that Bradford, in both the Challenge Cup and Grand Final, both attracting healthy 4-figure crowds. And once again, the Challenge Cup final to be held in York, and the grand final in Manchester. Claire Garner from the touchline. Oh my word! The Women's Super League is back with a bang. Bulls 6, Rhinos 22.
Yeah, great kick. Great kick from Claire Garner there. For a second I thought it wasn't going to have enough power, but it might be just the angle we're on, and then it literally went over that red, amber and black dot. Impressive kick. Game on.
Well, the only time Leeds have been in this position was at kick-off. Rihanna Marshall with the left boot. Bradford allow it to bounce. Savannah Andrade. Here goes young Savannah. She was 17 last year. She only turned 18 in December, and she'll carry the ball just outside the Bradford 20. Here goes Debbie Smith like the coal train. Down the middle. Wrapped up 20 shy of halfway. Maroney to Shona Hoyle, and Hoyle's going to be brought down. 2 in the tackle for the Rhinos on that occasion. Maroney to Garner. Garner along the line to Greenwood. Greenwood's brought down just shy of the halfway line. And Bradford have made 45 metres on the restart, and they're up to tackle number 4. On the right edge there, McDonald. Heather McDonald looks for support. She can't offload the ball, and she's brought down. 5 in from the main stand side on the last tackle. Here goes Kirsty Maroney. He goes to Hardcastle. Hardcastle along the line. The Bulls have just got into touch. Hale Heels brought down into touch. 5 shy of the Rhinos line. That was exhilarating rugby league. Bradford not afraid to give the ball some air despite difficult wet conditions, and the Rhinos defence equally mesmeric. Bradford 6, Leeds 22.
Exciting a bit of rugby league there. I thought for all intents and purposes Heels was in there on the right wing, but no luck. Bradford Leeds with their great defence show once again there. Thrilling stuff.
Kenny Gordon, I hope the Leeds Rhinos players, the men, are going to get some tips from the women's side after Friday's game. Bradford defending on the Rhinos 40, trying to keep Leeds inside their own half. Lewis Fussell has options towards our commentary position side on the popular stand side. Terraces here at Odsall. And Bradford defending well after a bit of a slow start getting into this game. Fussell under pressure. Gets past Hoyle. Fussell is going to put pressure on Savannah Andrade. Andrade takes it on the 20. She's up to the 30. Andrade brought down 15 shy of halfway. Odd tackle number 1. And we're going to now see Greenwood wrapped up after she takes the ball up out of dummy half. So once again a bit of an arm wrestle. And Leeds guilty of laying on in the tackle. Penalty count 2-1. Just 3 penalties in over 30 minutes of rugby league. 9 remaining to half time. And Bradford have not found touch there. A bit of an error from Kirsty Maroney. She holds her hand up. And Leeds, well, criminal when you not find touch on the penalty, Tom.
No, and the Leeds Rhinos have been guilty, the men's side have been guilty of that a few times this season, and it's one of those things that Brian McDermott absolutely loathes, so I'm pretty sure the Leeds Rhinos will be thinking that is a gift that they've been given by the Bradford Bulls there.
Eddie Betts, some great tackle by the Bulls. What's the score, says Liam? Bradford 6, Leeds 22. Tries from Marshall, a brace from Fussell, and the 4th one was from Robinson. Oh, big collision just inside the Bradford half. Amy Staveley there, wrapped up. 2 once again in the Bradford tackle. Last tackle for the Rhinos, 30 out, away from the Bradford line. It's going to go to Marshall. Marshall drills it towards the Bradford winger, Jones, and Leah Jones is wrapped up there. Menina Spur and Charlotte Booth. Here goes Andrade. Oh, dangerous looking tackle there, but Referee says play on. Andrade appealing for a penalty. One-man rugby from the Bulls as Jess Cortman carries them up to the 40. 10 shy of halfway. Here goes Maroney. Maroney to Garner. Garner to Shona Hoyle. Hoyle's wrapped up on tackle number 4. Garner. Beautiful offload in the tackle. Here goes Amy Hardcastle. Amy Hardcastle for the Bradford Bulls. Puts the fend in and just reaches out and scores in the corner. Sensational try there from Amy Hardcastle. Bradford 10, Leeds 22. A valiant effort in defence from Charlotte Booth. The Bulls are back.
What that instinct from Hardcastle to get it over there. She was just getting held up by the Leeds Rhinos defender, but she just reached out knowing that the try line was anywhere near there, and just gets it over. That is a thrilling try. Fantastic bit of rugby league from the Bradford Bulls there.
Christine Robinson, what a try. Well done. Farrell Lee Jagger, great try. Well done, the Bulls. And that has got the Bulls faithful below our commentary position. They've got the trumpet out, they're banging the drum. Claire Garner has a difficult conversion attempt right in front of that main stand, 20 metres away from the posts. Fantastic stuff from the Bulls. Is this to add the extra 2? Claire Gardner. Wow. Jonathan Thurston, eat your heart out. That was a magic kick. The gap's down to 10. 22 points to 12 at Odsal.
The second half of this first half has been pretty much all Bulls. They've really grown into the game, where Rhinos took their early opportunities. Bulls have now grown into the game, and I think it's only going to make for an even more thrilling, exciting fixture. And here we go, getting back underway.
We had a Marshall lining up the restart. 5 minutes to go to half time. We've seen 6 fantastic tries. Shona Hoyle takes the restart, 15 out from her own try line. She's up past the 20. She's brought down on the 30. The Bulls now have a bit of ascendancy. They have the rhythm. Here goes Leah Jones out of dummy half. Leah Jones is going to be brought down there by Sophie Robinson on this near stand side. Maroney leading the charge via Cortman, and Cortman a loud slap there as the two ladies collide. 5 inside the Rhinos half. Maroney to Garner. Garner tries to go through and she's wrapped up on tackle number 4. Knock on is the call. 50-50 call, but the referee, Simon Ellis, will say Claire Garner, in a haste to play the ball, come up with an error. That's Bradford's 6th error. But they're back in this game, Tom. Oh boy, trailing 22-0. After 25 minutes, they've scored 12 points in 6 minutes.
There's something I've noticed from Leah Jones that I quite like. It's when she spots a gap here on the left wing where the numbers are clearly over towards the right for the Rhinos. She spots a gap and takes it like an extra 5-10 metres.
Tracy Vincent keeps saying Susie Hill, not Sophie Robinson. Well, I'm sorry, Tracy, if we've got the names wrong. The team sheet that we've got has Susie Hill in 2 and Sophie Robinson in 5. I presume they've swapped the shirts, but that's not been communicated to us. So once again, apologies. We can only call what we're given in front of us. We're not doing it deliberately. Leeds, though, down the middle channel. Can they hunt a 5th try? Dying embers of the first half here. Women's Super League at Odsal. Lewis Fussell down the middle. Gonna find Marshall. Marshall wrapped up. 10 shy underneath the sticks. On the 5th and last tackle. Fussell looking for the hat trick. Wrapped up shy of the line. Savannah Andrade and Leah Jones, the 2 women in defence there, and the score remains Bradford 12, Leeds 22. And Tracy says, Susie held me little sis. Well, there you go, Tracy. I'll change the team sheet at half time. Bradford. Referee's just going to stop the clock.
Who's down?
Jess Courtman. Just a bit of a collision there. Stray arm.
Number 3.
Jess Coleman, yeah.
Connor Blunt, do you use Super League refs? Nope. Vanessa Dunn, excellent rugby league. Credit to the Birds.
Well, we'll take a little bit of a break there, Mick. Thanks to everyone who's watching on Proper Sport. If you could do us a favour and share the video. We've got free-to-air rugby league, of course, here on Proper Sport with Bulls Live, bringing you live action of the Bradford Bulls throughout 2018. And today, of course, we'll bring you Leeds Rhinos visit to Odsal Stadium for, of course, the kick-off of Women's Super League. You could give the video a share and get the word out there that we're bringing free-to-air rugby league here on Proper Sport.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Tom, the great Proper Sport programmes. There's the Rugby League discussion panel show tomorrow at 6.
Proper Rugby League, 6
Proper
to 8.
Rugby League, yeah. And I think everyone's going to be tuning in. I'm certainly going to tune in on Wednesday, because Jai Hitchcock's a dream debut for the Bulls this afternoon. 2 tries in a 52 points to 6 defeat of the Coventry Bears. I'm sure he'll be not quite talking all things Castleford Tigers, but great to see a round of applause there for Jess Courtman, who's just been led from the field of play, and we don't like to see this, do we, Tom?
No, Memphis Jump coming on for her, but hopefully it's not too big of an issue for Jess Coleman, and she'll be all right and be able to come on for the next Bradford Bulls game. Which is it, Mick? What's the next ladies' game?
The next ladies' game will be here at Odsal next Sunday. 3 o'clock kick-off as Bradford entertain St Helens. Bradford, of course, an away trip to Warrington on Saturday, so that ties in nicely. Victoria Blakeway says, shout out to my cousin Hannah Butcher, she's wearing Rhinos number 6. Bradford awarded their 3rd penalty of the half. 3 minutes to go to half time. And the game's just gone a little bit flat, but what great entertainment it has been. Andrade plays the ball. Maroney gives it there to McDonald, and Heather McDonald is wrapped up 10 shy of the line. That's the halfway line to me and you. Here goes Maroney. Once again, they're looking towards potentially Amy Hardcastle's wing, and Bradford, a tackle or so remaining in the bag, 5 shy of halfway. McDonald takes the pass from Greenwood. The referee just making sure Leeds are back the required 10. Maroney to Hoyle. Hoyle's come up with the first error, and then it was Marshall. And with 90 seconds remaining at the end of this first half, Leeds will have a full set inside the Bradford half. Whenever you're watching this game, let us know. Conrad Kelly, I'm watching from Zagreb, Croatia. Really impressed so far. Kirsty Wills, great to see the same amount as viewing as the men's game. Jodie Lee Davis, Leeds 22, Bradford 12. Alison Monk's confirming that in the comments. Leeds, though, the hunting, a 5th try as Danielle Anderson goes down the middle. There's a Bradford player down in back play. The referee is going to have to stop the clock here because the player hasn't moved, and play will be stopped with 62 seconds remaining at the end of this first half. And Lois Fussell just making sure.
Yeah, the player who's down, Mick, seems to have a bit of a bang on the head from the looks of things. Referee's obviously coming over to check, trying to figure out which number it is.
Yeah, difficult to see from this angle, but the referee, Simon Ellis. has a bit of experience as a match official. He's touch judge a couple of Championship and Super League games, so he'll be looking to work his way up the match official ladder. And let's not forget, not just Bradford and Leeds taking place this afternoon. There's also St Helens against the York City Knights, Wigan Featherstone Rovers in the Women's Super League. In the Women's Championship, Barrow against Wigan St Pat's. Lee were hosting the Widnes Vikings, and it was Wakefield Trinity and Hull FC. We'll try and get you the latest scores at half-time. But with 60 seconds remaining, Leeds knocking on that Bradford door once more. Amy Staveley brought down. 3 in the Bradford tackle on that occasion. Here goes Fussell. It's a flat-looking pass, picked up as forward, and that will probably just about do us at the end of the first half. Bradford still on 12 points to 22, and Mark Prescott will just be glad to get the girls in to the sheds at half-time, and 22-12, a lot better than 22-0, Tom.
Oh, definitely. Those last 2 tries, of course. We've seen some cracking tries as well already, but Bradford, of course, getting on the score sheet. I think this is going to set up for a really, really good second half.
Andy Rhinos, I think it might be my not so much broad Yorkshire accent, but I have been saying Lois. Bradford, 30 seconds remaining. The Hooters going to beat everybody. And then it's half-time here at Oxford Stadium. The Women's Super League has started with a bang. And the Rhinos players, they're in a huddle and they're celebrating as if they've won the match. Half-time, 22 points to 12. And it was early tries from Marshall, Fussell and Robinson that give Leeds a 22 lead after 25 minutes. Well, welcome back here to Odsal Stadium, the opening fixture of the Women's Super League season. Bradford trailing by 22 points to 12, and they'll be looking to maintain their unbeaten record under head coach Mark Prescott. But they're going to have to do it tough, as we saw just before half-time. Jess Cortman was led from the field with what looked to be a leg or ankle injury, so they'll be down to just 3 interchange players for the remainder of the game. And once again, Tom, great to see so many fans still staying behind.
Oh, absolutely. Give it a rugby league treat, a double header, like a mini Magic weekend almost. Getting to see 2 games, and both have been pretty decent. Of course, if you're a Bradford Bulls fan, the Coventry game was sublime. And we'll see how it goes for the Bradford Bulls fans that are still around here for the Leeds Rhinos start for the Women's Super League in 2018. Interestingly, I thought Amy Price was going to drop the ball at the kick-off, but she juggled it really well.
The kick just gone out on the full over on the far stand side there at Bradford. They'll have the ball on their own 20. It will be the changeover. Lenny Smith watching, so too James Dennison. Regarding the live stream for next week, nothing has been confirmed yet, so as always wait for the official communication, but we do remain hopeful of having something, albeit on delay. Bradford 15 shy of the halfway line, just to the left of centre field. Maroney in there at dummy half. Maroney's going a scampering run down the middle. Fussell, though, has stolen the ball one-on-one, but Fussell has just knocked it on, and the 2 former teammates give each other a pat on the back there. Great to see. And it will be scrum, head and feet to the Bradford Bulls. And Tom, half-time, we saw some of the women's junior sides out there on the field, and that was great to see.
Yeah, definitely. I saw some, I think some in this bottom right corner by us. They were having a whale of a time. Great to see that, rugby league is a game for both, boys and girls, all levels, and it's great to see.
Bradford from the scrum then, just shy of the halfway line, looking to move the ball towards this right-hand edge. Stacey Greenwood brought down by Fussell. Maroney. Here goes Debbie Smith. The 2-8s collide there. Anderson and Smith on the Rhinos 40. Proper Sport Bulls Live, don't forget, live and free across the social media Facebook platform. And Bradford trailing by 10. They know that a try at the start of the second half, and the would be really in the fire. Here goes McDonald. McDonald's going to be brought down just outside the Rhinos 20, but referee Simon Ellis will stop the clock because the Rhinos have a player down in back play.
And number 9 on 19, I think.
It's number 9. It's little Lois Fussell.
How key and integral will she be to this Leeds Rhinos team? You saw her last season, Mick.
Well, I think as you've seen in the opening 10-15 minutes when they took a real authoritative stranglehold on the game, pretty much everything was coming from Lois Fussell, and I think Bradford and Mark Prescott obviously know a lot about Lois's qualities, and I think if they can keep Lois quiet, put her under pressure, have those 2 and 3 marker defenders, then the Bulls certainly have a chance. But Amy Hardcastle won't be happy. That offload in the support to Savannah Andrade was knocked on. It is a 7th error from the Bradford Bulls women's side this afternoon, and they've still got a chance, the Bulls, not won over by a long shot, still got 36 minutes remaining here at Odsal. Wigan had a big result over Featherstone early, 54 points to 0.
Another player down, Mick. Just a small thing, is it? But perhaps due to the pitch, there's got a bit more wear and tear to it after the Bradford Coventry game. Do you think?
Well, it's certainly going to need a couple of days breathing space. I mean, we're not here till. In fact, we're here on Wednesday night. Yeah. So I think a decision probably will be made because we're here on Wednesday for the scholarship under-16s, and then we're here on Thursday for the under-19s when Wigan are in town, and then we're here again on Sunday. So those ties could be played at Dudley Hill, but technically speaking, after today, the Bulls first team won't be back at Odsal until May the 6th when they host the West Wales Raiders. But the pitch certainly getting a little bit cut up, certainly in centre field. Leeds have come up with an error, a rare error from the Rhinos.
First tackle as well.
Yeah, that will please Mark Prescott and his side, and it will be scrum, head and feet to the Bulls. 35 out from the Rhinos line, 10 in from this main stand side where we call the action from, and it will be Shona Hoyle to take the ball out from the scrum. Shona Hoyle twisted and turning in the tackle. It goes along the line. Maroney to Hardcastle. Hardcastle looking for the line break, and it's been stolen. 2-on-1. So Bradford have another penalty. Penalty count now 4-1 in favour of the Bulls, and the referee will stop the clock because Amy Hardcastle is down over on the far stand side. If you're just joining us, Bulls Live, proper sport. Bradford Bulls against Leeds Rhinos, and the Bulls trailing by 22 points to 12. Daniel Newman. Mick Gliddle has already said he's been given the wrong team sheet by Leeds, so he doesn't really know who's who. Well, The team sheet was handed to me up at Odsall in the press room at around about 20 past 11 this morning, and obviously with the first team game finishing and the Women's Super League game starting straight after, nobody has corrected me or told me that players have swapped numbers, but we do know that Susie Hill is 5 and Sophie Robinson is now number 2.
We know we've had a good game so far.
We certainly do, although if Amy Hardcastle has to lead the field, that would be a huge blow for the Bradford Bulls side. Amy Hardcastle, of course, she scored a fantastic try for England in the World Cup, during the World Cup down in Australia. And she scored that fantastic 60-metre effort at the Manchester Regional Arena when Bradford defeated Featherstone by 36 points to 6 back in October. So Bradford back up on the feet, down the middle with Debbie Smith. Debbie Smith clattered 2 defenders there, and now Debbie Smith is down on the floor. And the referee once again is going to stop the clock. It's getting brutal out there.
There's a man for the Bradford Bulls, you can just see him now approaching Debbie Smith. He was just about near enough on the edge of the pitch, and then he heard the referee's whistle, turned around and then went, oh, and then ran straight back.
That's the Bradford Bulls physio, Aaron Scholes.
He's already put in some miles today.
And Debbie Smith, just down on her haunches, in a little bit of discomfort.
When Smith runs with the ball, you can see the power that she's got. It takes a couple of Rhinos to try and stop her, so if they can do that sort of thing and give her a quick b-ball on the side of the post or anything like that, about 5 metres out, I don't think anyone will stop her, so she'd be a big miss, wouldn't she? She's up.
Debbie Smith back to her feet, 10 out from the Rhinos line. It's going to go with Garner. Garner brought down, 5 away. Maroney back in centre field. Debbie Smith once again. Quick play the ball. The Bulls hunting more points. 4th tackle gone. 8 metres out. A bit of a slow play the ball there from the Bradford Bulls. Here goes Stacey Greenwood, and another penalty awarded to the Bradford Bulls. 5-1 now the count, and that is for Leeds being inside the 10.
This will be annoying Coach Cuthbertson, of course. Penalty after penalty, you're just welcoming him in the Bradford Bulls, aren't you?
Maroney to McDonald. McDonald's upended, too shy of the Rhinos line. What's Maroney going to do in a dummy half? She floats it out wide. Claire Garner. Claire Garner's going to be brought down there by Danielle Anderson and Danica Prim. This pressure incessant from the Bulls. Can they make it count? They're over on that left-hand edge. It's Debbie Smith wearing 10, and Debbie Smith is held up just shy of the line. Kirsty Maroney, can she squeeze in at the corner? There's cheers in the corner. The referee says held up. They'll go back to the 10. Some of the fans, the young girls, they're cheering. They think the try's been given, but referee Simon Ellis will say held up.
The Bulls
last tackle.
Bulls winger heel just crying out for it, knowing that she's got so much space.
And Bradford run it on the power play there. Did they lose the count? Savannah Andrade just taking the tackle, 5 shy of the Rhinos line, and Leeds will play the ball 5 away, trying to get some momentum. The majority of this second half has been played deep inside the Leeds half. 7 minutes gone, 33 remain. Referee Ellis is making sure that the ball's going to be played correctly inside the 20. Tracy Vincent, great defence from Leeds. Elliot Cullen watching. Bradford looking rejuvenated. Strong defence from the Rhinos, says Ethel. Here come the Rhinos though. They're up and over halfway inside the Bradford half. Shona Hoyle in defence there for the Bulls as they look to give the ball some zip over on this left hand edge. It's Megan Price. Price has offloaded the ball in the tackle. Here goes Hannah Butcher. Hannah Butcher brought down there by Kirsty Maroney and Heather McDonald. Still going. Hannah Butcher to the line. The Bulls thought the tackle was completed. Leeds played to the whistle. Lewis Fussell on the run around. Leeds are going to score out wider than no, they're not. Amy Castle with the big don't argue. Lewis Fussell to Rhiannon Marshall. Marshall's held up. No try. It was the fifth and last tackle. The power play. The Bulls will play the ball on the 10. Wow. That was fast and frenetic.
Bradford Bulls couldn't seem to get a hand on that play that was going through, but Marshall there, I think if she'd have gone low and got straight into the try area, could have come up with 4 points, but she's got a bit high, ran it in almost as normal, but if you go, you jump, you dive in, I think she'd have got an extra 4 points, but never mind. Great defence, especially from Hardcastle there, from Bradford Bulls.
The referee will say 1 tackle remaining. Lewis Fussell, too much on it, is there? It's come off a Bradford hand, says the referee. Goal line dropout. And Leeds putting the squeeze on the Bulls here, you suspect. First goal line dropout of the afternoon. And it's a repeat set for the Leeds Rhinos. This one has great intensity. And once again, the referee just stopping the clock. It's one of the Bradford players needs a bit of attention, and on will come Aaron Scholes again.
Man of the match. Again, Miles, a bit of a breaker. Thanks for joining us on Proper Sport. Over 700 of you watching. If you could give us a share, that'd be greatly appreciated as we get back underway from the goal line dropout from Bradford Bulls. Bit of a scuff job, that one.
Bounces up kindly for Megan Price. Price is brought down, 15 out from the Bradford line. We'll go through some of the latest scores on the doors from this afternoon's fixtures, as Sophie Robinson, wearing 2, is going to be brought down. 10 out from the Bradford line. They're going to go down the middle with Anderson. Anderson's turned in the tackle. Maroney in defence there for the Bulls. Leeds hunting that 5th try, and they're going to get it. Referee Simon Ellis points the finger, and Leeds open the scoring at the start of the second half, and it is the Bradford Bulls 12, Leeds Rhinos 26, and it has been given to number 14, Amy Johnson, and that will live long in the memory for Amy Johnson, because the Rhinos have a 5th try in the 54th minute of the game.
Easy stuff, I think, for the Rhinos just there. Just had a couple of sets, obviously, this sort of end of the half. Whereas Rhinos defended well in their own, when Bradford had so much ball, they've attacked pretty well. But I think Coach Cuthbertson will be wanting a little bit less mistakes, particularly on D, but we'll see. Can Marshall add on the extras?
Well, the latest scores from the Super League, Huddersfield 12, Salford 30, so a bit of a shock there at the John Smith Stadium. It finished Wakefield 24, St Helens 20, so a second defeat of the season for St Helens. Castleford 31, Catalan Dragons 0. Will that spell the end for Steve McNamara? They've got a tricky Challenge Cup assessment next Sunday when they travel to Bootham Crescent and face James Ford's York City Knights. In Betfred Championship, Barrow 26, Featherstone 38. It has just finished Dewsbury Rams 12, Toronto Wolfpack 23, Halifax 18, Swinton 12, Sheffield 20, Lee Centurions 72. Wow. 92 points there at the Olympic Village. And in Betfred League 1, Bradford 52, Coventry 6, it finished Crusaders 10, Newcastle 30, Hunslet 27, Workington Town 20, Oldham 32, Keighley 18, Whitehaven 84, West Wales Raiders 6, and the final one, York City Knights, putting a big score on the London Scholars by 66 points to 6 there. A great afternoon. And it was Doncaster 60, Hemel 0. So Doncaster still remain top of Betfred League One on 10 points, joint top with Bradford and York. Rhiannon Marshall converted from in front. It is 28 points to 12. And here come the Rhinos again, attacking and probing down that middle channel. Caitlin Beavers is going to be wrapped up. Shona Hoyle in defence for the Bulls. Lois Fussell along the line. Rhiannon Marshall juggling with the ball. Referee says knock on. Will he say it was first one from the Bulls? Or will he say the Rhinos come up with the error? He's going to give head and feet to the Bradford Bulls here. Proper Sport Bulls Live. 12 points. Plays 28, Tom.
There was a great moment there where Lois Fussell was basically saying to Danielle Anderson, run the ball. She got given the ball from an offload, and it's almost like she paused and didn't know what to do. And Fussell just pointed it towards the try line, just saying go, go, go. But great start to this second half. The defence has been impressive as well. A couple of mistakes, but that might be due to the conditions that we've discussed in the first half. But definitely a great advertisement for Women's Super League. The Rhinos looking pretty good value for their lead at the moment. Hopefully the Bulls can make more of a competition of it and get back in it.
Once again, a bit of a stoppage here while Rhiannon Marshall just gets a bit of attention from the Leeds Rhinos physio, and can't stress enough just how the Women's Super League has certainly grown. I mean, last year it was the inaugural season. There was only 4 teams. This year there's now 7 teams with the introduction of St Helens, Wigan and of course Leeds here. And then what's great about it, Tom, and for those watching on Proper Sport, below that you've now got the Women's Championship with Barrow, Wigan St Pat's, Widnes Vikings, Lee Centurions, Wakefield Trinity, Hull FC, all having women's teams. So is this a golden era? Is this the catalyst? Because everything, when we speak to Ralph Rimmer at the RFL and Mark Foster, who's stood at the bottom of the terracing here, so all the RFL hierarchy here in attendance this afternoon, you know, when you speak to them, it's all about building and progressing and developing talent that will give England the best chance of winning that Women's World Cup on home soil in 2021. So, Bradford trailing. They have to score next, you feel. Stacey Greenwood brought down 15 shy of halfway, 5 in from our main stand side as Jess Cortman, who's back out there for the second half, shaking off the injury, wrapped up on the 5th and last, 10 shy of the halfway line.
Brilliant to see her back on the field.
Claire Garnett, boot to ball. Bit of a juggle there from Megan Price, but Megan Price takes it under pressure. Stacey Greenwood was bearing down on her, and here goes Sophie Robinson wearing 2. 5 shy of the halfway line. Out of dummy half from Amy Johnson. Amy Johnson's took the Leeds Rhinos 10 inside the Bradford half. Lois Fussell down the middle with Staveley. Short pass on the inside, and she will attack the right edge Bulls markers. 5 tries to 2. Not one over yet as Leeds come up with an error. It's gone backwards, and it is the 0 tackle. But Bradford have come up with an error themselves, and that is from Chrissy Netlington, who's just come on for Matt Prescott's side. And should Leeds come up with a victory in the first game, Tom, oh boy, what a statement of intent. You know, you've basically defeated the Challenge Cup, Super League, and undefeated throughout the 2017 season, Bradford Bulls.
Absolutely, the team to beat, the team that everyone's going to be looking at, you know, almost like the Bradford Bulls in League One. Just that is a marker game, and what a way to welcome yourself into the Women's Super League by winning. But of course, plenty of game time left. We've still got how long left? 25 minutes maybe?
25 minutes remaining. Bradford awarded penalty number 6. A high tackle there on Savannah Andrade. And Claire Gann just clapping their hands and trying to marshal the Bulls troops. This one not over yet. They trail by 16 points. Hardcastle to Hoyle. Shona Hoyle down the direct route in heavy traffic, plays the ball 35 out. Here goes big Debbie Smith, and Debbie Smith's brought down by Lewis Purcell, just shy of the 20. Here goes McDonald now. McDonald's going to be wrapped up by Beavers and Johnson. 3 tackles gone, 2 remain. The Bulls 15 out from the Rhinos line as it goes to Cortman, and Jess Cortman's going to be brought down, but it's another penalty. Leeds inside the 10, and the count now is 7-1 against the Rhinos, and Adam Cuthbertson looking a little bit concerned with a bit of the Rhinos' ill discipline. It's going to be tapped by Greenwood. Greenwood goes on the angle, and she's brought down. 2 Rhino defenders in the tackle. A short pass there. Out of dummy half from Maroney. Play on is the call. Goes to Smith. Smith wrapped up from Beavers. And out of dummy half, they're going to try and go with Netlington, and Netlington's going to be brought down. Quick play the ball. Greenwood to Garner. Claire Garner. She's shy of the line. And this now will be the last tackle. Can the Bulls score and get themselves back in the game? Great defence from the Leeds Rhinos. It's going to go back to Hardcastle. Crossfield kick. Jess Cortman was putting Sophie Robinson under a lot of pressure. Sophie Robinson jumped from in the field of play, and the Bulls have forced their first goal line dropout, and now the tide is potentially turning in favour of the Bulls. They're putting a bit of pressure on, and they're going to have a bit of ball in hand.
Yeah, you're looking at this, and they had the numbers on this side, and I thought they just kept on giving a bit of a short pass to the Bulls there, but the winger is crying out for it. Heald, I've talked about it before. They've got numbers over here. Bradford needs to start using them, but I think Coach Hutchinson's going to be fuming at the number of mistakes that they're making. But Will Prescott, for the Bulls, be fuming that they've not taken those chances, the Bradford Bulls.
Jane Scrivens, do the women's games play for 80 minutes? Yes, they do. Same with the men's. They go the whole distance. Leeds Rhinos leading 28 points to 12. Forsell with ball in hand.
Who's that getting a bit of treatment, Mick? I'm not able to tell, but yeah, it's still a bit of.
It's difficult to tell from our commentary position, but she's just getting a bit of strapping on around the head. It's Charlotte Booth, of course. Try scorer in that grand final for the Bradford Bulls last year. And Stacey White has just come on the field for the Bradford Bulls. So Mark Prescott ringing the changes. Just approaching the hour mark in this one. Leeds still leading by 28 points to 12, but the Bulls trying to hit back. Andrade brought down, 18 out from the Rhinos line. In at dummy half, it is going to go from Nettleton, and Nettleton's going to find Smith, and Debbie Smith once again attracting a lot of traffic her way. 10 shy of the line, 10 to the left-hand side of the post. Here goes Amy Hardcastle, herring onto a pass, and it's been stolen. 1-on-1, says the referee, but it's now been stolen back by Hardcastle. So the tackle will take place as shy of the line as Shona Hoyle comes into the Bradford attacking line. And once again, we're at the last tackle underneath the sticks. Claire Garner out to Hardcastle. Has that touched a Leeds hand? The Bulls out of sync. Well, I said it touched a Leeds hand. The referee will say yes, so more pressure for Leeds to defend. Heroic defence from the Leeds Rhinos. They really want the win this afternoon. Bulls Live, proper sport. An hour gone, 20 minutes remaining, 16 points for the Bulls to make up their trail, 28 points to 12.
They're going to have to make use of these recurring sets here, Bradford. They keep crying out for this ball on the right edge, and they've not brought it, so hopefully they can bring it over sometime soon, and they might be able to get in there, but here they go.
Savannah Andrade, 18 years of age, plays the ball 2 metres out from the Rhinos line as Bradford looking
She's in.
to post their first point. The referee, unmoved, is going to say the tackle was completed shy of the line. It's going to go back to Greenwood. Greenwood to Courtman. Courtman looks to offload the ball. She's inching towards the Rhinos line. She's held up in the tackle, stood tall. Stacey Greenwood on this right-hand edge. And the Bulls looking to move it with Cheryl Armitage. A tackle remaining. Nettleton to Greenwood. To Savannah Andrade. Andrade is brought down, and once again the Bulls on that last tackle play looking for the try that will get them back in the game. Garner, crossfield kick, looking for Hardcastle, and it's been knocked dead by the Rhinos winger Menina Spur, and the pressure will continue, and this now is going to be a 5th successive set of 6 that the Rhinos are going to have to defend. Magnificent stuff.
I'm thinking Mark Prescott must be thinking, score for the love of God. They've had, 5 sets, like you say, Mick, and yet to get in on this second half. But, and that's a frustrating, that's a coach killer, that one, from 24 there for the Bradford Bulls. From the goal line dropout, knocks it on.
After defending 4 successive sets of 6, an error there from the Bradford Bulls, and the pressure is off. 18 minutes remain, and Leeds, as I said earlier, on the cusp of a famous victory against the Bradford Bulls, although Leeds have now lost the ball, and Bradford will have another chance to try and get back in this game, albeit on the 0 tackle and 10 shy of halfway inside their own half. Here goes Shona Hoyle. Hoyle's brought down 2 metres, and it's another penalty to the Bradford Bulls. Well, 8 penalties to 1 now, and the referee not putting anyone on a warning, so that'll infuriate the home crowd. Claire Garner just wants to get proceedings back underway. She's going to find touch over on the far stand side, 30 away from the Leeds Rhinos line. Can the Bulls penetrate this stern Leeds Rhinos defence?
Great run.
Hardcastle has a tilt on tackle number 1. Here goes Andrade on 2. Fearless from the Bradford Bulls women, and it's another penalty to the Bulls. Can the Bulls finally score? Stacey Greenwood. She's a metre shy of the line. Greenwood, and she's got a bit of cramp now. She'll turn around. She's down on her knees. The referee's going to stop the clock, and that will suck a little bit of momentum out, and that will help the Leeds Rhinos. And Adam Cuthbertson about to bring on former Bradford favourite Daninka Prim. She's wearing 10, and the referee about to blow time back on. Bradford trying to charge over from close range from Heather McDonald. Shy of the line, Kirsty Maroney. She's been involved in women's rugby league in Bradford for over 2 decades. Quick play the ball. Debbie Smith to Hoyle. Hoyle floats it out to Hardcastle. 10 metres out from the Rhinos line. Here goes Amy Hardcastle. Hardcastle exciting the crowd, and she's brought down 8 shy in front of the post. Here goes Andrade with a zip and the zag, and once again it's deja vu. The Bulls on the last tackle, close to the Rhinos line. The kick gonna come in from Maroney. It's taken there superbly from Sophie Robinson, and Sophie Robinson under a lot of pressure there, and that is defence winning games from the Rhinos. Gotta say, immovable there from the Leeds Rhinos, and Bradford just cannot unlock the sternest of Rhinos' defence. We've got 16 minutes remaining, Tom. Chance potentially gone now for the Bulls.
Yeah, it's back-to-back sets and still not managed to break through. Yeah, Rhinos have done a lot, caused a lot of penalties, and that's, welcomed Bradford Bulls back in. But they've engulfed them when they've got, within like the final 10. The Rhinos are just engulfed and enveloped around the Bradford players and stopped them getting over that line. And when it comes to the final kick, those last kicks haven't been that great from the Bradford Bulls so far in this second half. But we've got another player down, but hopefully we'll be able to get back underway. Also, if you could share the video on Proper Sport, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Holly Tillett says, what a game. Well, I don't think I've ever called a game with so many stoppages, but I guess player safety paramount. And with 16 minutes remaining, 16 points the deficit, Mark Prescott's side have to overcome. Leeds Rhinos women's Super League side are certainly going to take all the headlines if this result stays the way, because Bradford have not tasted defeat since 2016. Bradford letting the ball bounce, but it's gone backwards, says the referee, Simon Ellis. Savannah Andrade has it, 30 out from her own try line. As a risky pass has been knocked on there on this Maidstad side. And it will be scrum. Head and feet to the Leeds Rhinos. They give themselves a pat on the back and high-five one another.
I've been trying to keep an eye on Cuthbertson. He doesn't really get frustrated that easily as a player, I don't feel. But been watching him as Rhinos kept on conceding penalty after penalty after penalty. He just kept very calm, cool and collected. And he's just having a word with his players whilst on the side of the pitch. And I think they just know they need to see this game out with such little time to go, 15 minutes to go. Bulls, though, if they manage to get back in it, could be thrilling final 10 minutes.
Well, similar feat towards the Bulls' main team in 2018. The women's side are going to face many new tests, many new adventures. St. Helens, the visitors to Odsal next Sunday. And the Leeds Rhinos, 28 points to 12 to the good. What an improvement from that pre-season defeat to Castleford. Here goes Charlotte Booth in that attacking line on tackle number 4, just to the right of the post, 10 metres out. For Sell to Stavely. Stavely brought down by Smith. And Leeds hunting a 6th try. Rhiannon Marshall to Beavers. And Beavers is brought down on the last. Lewis Fussell, will she show and go herself? Savannah Andrade has hold of a former teammate, and that is good defence from the Bradford Bulls. So the scoreline remains Bradford Bulls 12, Leeds Rhinos 28, with 14 and a half minutes remaining, Tom.
Yeah, great bit of defence from the Bulls there, especially when Forsell was about to get in. She managed to get a bit of an offload off, but they managed to wrap them well. But look at the Rhinos pushing back already. First tackle, great bit of defence.
Jess Courtman out of dummy half. Loses the ball. Referee. Another penalty to the Bradford Bulls. 9-1 the penalty count, and still no team warning. Very strange situation. Just starting to get a little bit gloomy here at Odsal. Claire Garnett finds touch. 10 shy of the halfway line. 60 metres now between the tap and the try line. Kenny Gordon says, well done, the Women's Super League. Both sides, 10 out of 10. Friday's game, Leeds v Wigan, 3 out of 10. I'm enjoying the women's better than the Super League. Kirsty Maroney out of dummy half. It goes to Garner. Garner to Hoyle. Hoyle steps in one. Can't get past the huge frame of Danica Prame. And Danica Prame in that marker defence as Bradford find Hardcastle on that left-hand edge. Hardcastle's the danger woman. and Hardcastle is going to be wrapped up and suffocated by 3 Leeds Rhinos defenders in front of the main stand on the far stand side. Goes to Kirsty Maroney. Maroney to Smith. Smith wrapped up. 5th and last tackle for the Bulls. 20 metres out. Stacey Greenwood. Crossfield kick, looking for Jess Cortman. Finds Jess Cortman, but Jess Cortman is brought down in a 2-lady tackle. Megan Price and Sophie Robinson on hand to avert the danger. Another chance for the Bulls. Gone begging.
Yeah, another chance wasted. I think Prescott's probably going to be sort of itching to see his side get over in this second half, but the Rhinos' defence has been really resolute at times, hasn't it? Really good stuff from the Rhinos. And like you said in the first half, if they manage to get themselves a win here, what message does that send out to Women's Super League?
13 minutes remaining. Just one try in the second half.
Fabulous.
And that come in the 54th minute from Amy Johnson. It was 22-12 at half time. And defences on point, on top, as Leeds find themselves just inside the Bradford half. A tackle remaining. Lois Fussell gives the ball on this main stand side, and that is going to be Sophie Robinson who's brought down. 25 out as it goes to Fussell. Fussell goes high. Tester for Andrade. Andrade lets it bounce, and it's just going to go over the dead ball line. So it'll be a 7 tackle set for the Bulls. And Andrade is going to race up. Well, she didn't want to take it herself. And the referee's going to have a controlled restart because Leeds were just setting up their defensive line. So perhaps that's a new one on me. Controlled restarts in the women's game. Andrade giving the ball on the left-hand edge, and that's a loose carry, and that's an error there from Leah Jones. That'll be a 0 tackle. The referee a little bit hesitant. He was looking towards the touch judge. The touch judge on the far-stand side said it was legal, and Bradford have just got a little bit excited there, palming the ball down, and Chrissy Nettleton just touching the ball in flight, and it will be a repeat set for the Leeds Rhinos. Bradford's 8th error of the game, and let's not forget the crowd for the women's game, 3,568.
Brilliant.
That's a great attendance, Tom.
Oh, brilliant. First game of the season as well, so hopefully if you can manage to hold on to that sort of crowd throughout the season, it'd be an absolute fantastic achievement for the women's game. So fingers crossed. Especially great promotion as well to get it for the double header today from the Bulls. So very well done.
I think the weather might have put a couple of 100 off because it did start raining just before kick-off. But as we already know, when you come to Odsall, pack your raincoat. It has its own microclimate. Charlotte Booth from the base of the scrum, 20 metres out from the Bradford line. Fussell down the middle with Beth Lockwood. Lockwood wearing 12, brought down by Smith and Hoyle in a 2 tackle. 10 out. Leeds really looking to put the game to bed here as Lewis Fussell is hit there. No love lost there between the two former teammates. Charlotte Booth out of dummy half, and she's gone without the ball. So once again, the defence, Tom, that's all we can talk about in this second half. There's not been much in terms of attacking rugby league. It's all been about this brutal physical defence.
Whenever there's been a bit of an attack, though, you've just been showcased how good the defences for both sides are. And in the final 10 of both sides of the pitch, we've been able to see some fast, really quality defence from both sides. But for this, final 10 or so minutes, I'd love to see maybe a bit more attack from both sides, particularly the Bulls, to make it an even more interesting finish.
A lot of people commentating, saying that the crowd bigger than some Super League crowds, and credit to Bradford Bulls co-owners Andrew Chalmers, Graham Lowe, and also Gary Everington. They decided did want to put a show on for the start of the season. Although Amy Hardcastle might have a say a thing about that. Amy Hardcastle's away. This one might not be over. Hardcastle's lost the ball backwards, but it's a penalty to the Bradford Bulls. Was Amy Hardcastle caught high? The touch judge has come on. We've got 9 minutes remaining, and Leeds could be in trouble here if the referee deems that to be a professional foul.
It did look high from this side of the stadium, of course. Might be closer at that side of the pitch, but for me, Hardcastle had a great run there. She gives it away to the left winger. Well, Leah Jones, I think that, you could have said good night Vienna and she'd have been off and they would have got the points on the board.
Great comment there from Dean Fisher. Great advert for the women's game. Epic from both sides. Some great stuff from Proper Sports and also her Rugby League website supporting the women's game. Well worth a look. Raymond Greenfield, not a bad crowd at Bradford. Pete Bonner, suspected high tackle. Not quite, Kenny. Penalty count is 10-1 against the Rhinos. And Amy Hardcastle just down in front of the far stand side with the clock stopped.
But how good has Amy Hardcastle been for the Bulls so far? When she's run with the ball, she's looked one of the most dangerous players of Prescott's side. So big loss, but good to see that Jess Coleman came back on. Hopefully this isn't too serious for Amy Hardcastle. Been a lot of stoppages in this game, hasn't there, Mick? But still been a good affair.
It certainly has, and it's 5:30 on a Sunday evening, and to attract 3,500 spectators to Odsal Stadium in the inclement weather, that really is a fantastic attendance and a great crowd, and it really does argue well for the season. I mean, when I spoke to Amy Hardcastle on Wednesday at the Women's Press Day, she was asking, how can you possibly go better than what happened in 2017? They were undefeated, 13 games undefeated. They won the Challenge Cup against Featherstone at York in front of a 4-figure crowd. They then defeated Featherstone again in the Super League Grand Final at Manchester Regional Arena, again in front of another healthy 4-figure crowd, and it's looking like potentially Amy Hardcastle might have to end the game coming off injured, but the Bulls looking increasingly likely, Tom, they're going to start the season with a defeat, and they'll look to bounce back, regroup, just like any sporting side does, against St Helens here at Odsal next Sunday.
Sometimes it's it's the losses that can help define you, and this could maybe help define both Rhinos and Bradford Bulls season. Rhinos, of course, we did first competitive match, beating the team to beat, but then Bradford, they've got to go and dig deeper to find out where they could, go from here. I think it's important to remember, though, that 4 players from the Bradford Bulls side last season make up the Rhinos starting 13 today. So I think that's important to remember, because clearly they've taken some quality out of that side, but Prescott's rebuilt for this season, and they'll go again.
Well, concerning scenes here at Odsal. Players being suspended for about 5 minutes now. Amy Hardcastle in a lot of distress over on the far stand side, and I think they've called for the stretcher. And from myself and everyone at Proper Sports and Bulls Live, our heartfelt sympathies to Amy Hardcastle, and fingers crossed it's nothing too serious.
Well, while we've got this a little bit of a break, apologies, of course, and our best wishes from Proper Sport and Bradford Bulls go out to Amy and, of course, all concerned. Whilst we've got you here, of course, Bradford Bulls live here on Proper Sport. We'll be trying to bring you the Warrington game. We'll give you official confirmation of what's going on regarding that, whether there's a delay or whatever. So keep an eye on Bradford Bulls' official Twitter feed and ours, which is on at Proper Sport. And tomorrow, live from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m, Proper Sport will be bringing you proper rugby league. Mark Wilson joined in the studio by Gary Schofield, Phil Kaplan, 4020 editor, and Richard Shawright. No doubt they'll be discussing the start of Women's Super League and everything going on in the rugby league world, including that huge win for Wakefield. Who would have thought that at the start of this week? But they've managed to get a win and give St Helens, who are top of the Super League, their second loss. So they'll be reviewing that. They're reviewing Women's Super League and everything else. Join the lads tomorrow from 6 p.m. on Proper Sport.
Well, just to recap some of the latest scores and the results from across all the top three divisions this afternoon, while the stretcher just comes on there for Amy Hardcastle in the Betfred Super League. Huddersfield Giants 12, Salford Red Devils 30. As Tom's just said, the shock happened at Bellevue. Wakefield Trinity 24, St Helens 20, Jones, Bishop, Lynn, Horror and Tupu with the tries. Liam Finn 4 from 4 attempts. Castleford Tigers inflicted more pain on Steve McNamara in a big 41-0 victory at the Jungle. McShane with a brace, Shenton, Clare and Wardle, Gale with the goals and also the drop goal. And then in the Betfred Championship, bit of a battle royal on the Cumbrian Peninsula up at Barrow. Barrow 26, Featherstone 38. Batley, of course, defeated Toulouse yesterday, and it finished Dewsbury 12, Toronto 23. Halifax and Swinton involved in a low-scoring game at the Shea. Richard Marshall's side coming on top, 18 points to 12. I've already mentioned Sheffield 20, Lee 72. Huge scoring game there. A lot of points on show. Half time, it was Sheffield 4, Lee 50, and of course, former Bradford Bulls utility forward, young James Bentley, currently at St Helens on loan, dual reg at Sheffield. He got on the try scorers for any of the Bradford supporters watching. And then we dropped down to Betfred League 1, Bradford Bulls 52, Coventry Bears 6. 10 tries to 1 in the end. Jai Hitchcock scoring 2 tries on his Bradford Bulls debut. It finished Doncaster 60, Hemmelstags 0. Hunslet defeating Leon Price's Workington Town by 27 points to 20. North Wales Crusaders 10, Newcastle Thunder 30. Oldham picking up a big win against Keighley at Whitebank, 32 points to 18. And the West Wales Raiders, very sorry start to 2018. They were dispatched at the Rec by 84 points to 6. And let's not forget the York City Knights will host the Catalan Dragons in the 5th round of the Ladbrokes Challenge Cup next Sunday at Bootham Crescent. They defeated Jamel Coleman's London Scholars by 66 points to 6. It remains to be seen, Tom. I'm sure Mark Wilson and Gary Schofield will discuss it tomorrow, whether Steve McNamara is going to remain in charge at the Catalan Dragons. But Amy Hardcastle, she will receive a hero's welcome off the field. The supporters in the main stand, on the feet. And we just wish Amy Hardcastle all the best as she is stretching off the field.
Absolutely. Never good to see this, but of course, one of the great things about rugby league, regardless of side, regardless of allegiance, you always clap off and wish everyone well. Part of the rugby league sort of family feel, isn't it, Mick? So all the best to Amy Hardcastle. Leeds Rhinos, whilst that was going on and there was a bit of a pause in game, they were making sure they were stretched and ready to try and see out this game.
Amy Hardcastle just being led down the tunnel by the Bradford Bulls support staff. So the clock says 9 minutes exactly remaining in this game, and we're going to have a grandstand finale. Bradford 10 out from the Rhinos line. Here goes Debbie Smith, crashes onto a short pass and she's brought down. 4 in the tackle there for the Rhinos. Maroney out of dummy half to McDonald. Can McDonald get the ball down? McDonald's brought down, inches shy. Will Maroney go herself? Kirsty Maroney has got one back for the Bulls. 8.5 minutes remain. Game back on at Odsall. Bradford Bulls 16, Leeds Rhinos 28. Grandstand finale coming up.
When you've got that close to the line and you see that big of a gap, you've got to take it. And boy, did she take it with great precision. Plants the ball down. She knew straight away. Looked to the ref, and the ref points, blows the whistle. We're in for a great finish here on Proper Sport.
Kirsty Maroney, a stalwart in women's rugby league in Bradford for over 2 decades, originally joining the Dudley Hill Thunderbirds, and speaking to her pre-match, over the moon. Claire Garner misses her first of the afternoon from a relatively easy position. The other two were out on the touchline, on the edges. But 12 points the gap. The Bulls will get the ball back. So Jones, Hardcastle and Maroney, the try scorers for the Bulls. Just a little bit of nervousness now for the Rhinos, but game back on. Rihanna Marshall towards Shauna Hoyle, and here goes Shauna Hoyle up to the Bradford 30. Out of dummy half from Leah Jones. Leah Jones is going to scamper forward for a gain of 12 metres, 8 shy of the halfway line. Here goes Debbie Smith, 3 tackles gone. The Bulls just shy of entering Leeds Rhinos territory. Claire Garner, Stacey Greenwood.
Great hands.
Good quick hands to Cheryl Armitage. 2 tackles remaining. Here goes Stacey Greenwood. Jess Cortman caught on the shoulders. Last tackle now for the Bradford Bulls. 6.5 minutes remaining. Trailing by 2 tries. Straight down the front of the young Leeds Rhinos fullback. And she has taken that. And here she goes. And a shirt grab there on the shoulder from Leah Jones. And the officials say that one was legal. And Leeds, via Charlotte Booth, looking to close the game out. Quick play the ball. They're over on that right-hand edge in front of the Providence stand at Odsall, just inside the Bulls' half.
Great tackling from there. It's like Debbie Smith, I think it was, followed up twice there. Brilliant.
Leeds almost certainly know a drop goal or any further scores would put this game out of reach. Here goes Rhiannon Marshall. Marshall to Staveley. Referee says penalty to the Leeds Rhinos.
Whoa.
And a little bit of pushing and shoving. We're going to see some biff here at Odsall. Here come the girls. The referee and touch judges got to separate them. Getting a little bit fiery. And just looking there, some of the Bradford Bulls players trying to calm their own teammates down here. That happened out and out. The referee's actually given the penalty to Leeds, their second penalty of the game. And surely Adam Cuthbertson will say, take the 2.
He's shouting something, Mick, so I think he is saying something about taking the 2.
Yeah, she's going. Big back for might be red as well.
Sin binning.
And the referee, Simon Ellis. Shown one of the Leeds Rhinos players a yellow card, Tom.
Yeah. There was a bit of shoving and pushing, bit of biff, as you say. This rivalry runs deep, though, of course. Let's not forget that. Bit of a new chapter, of course, with the women's game. Good to see a little bit of spice, though, isn't it, Mick?
Well, they're not going to go for the 2 points. They're going to run it in, and Leeds down to 12, and the tackles are going to come thick and fast. Lois Purcell out of dummy half to Beavers, and Beavers is going to be brought down by Hoyle. just to the right-hand side of the sticks. 5 minutes remaining. Lewis Fussell. Charlotte Booth crashes over the Bulls line. And Charlotte Booth has got the Rhinos' 6th try. And Leeds are going to end the Bradford Bulls women's undefeated record in sensational fashion here at Odsall. Bradford Bulls 16, Leeds Rhinos 32. What a start to the 2018 Women's Super League season. A monumental shock.
Charlotte Booth there she's been great all day, just powering over with the ball. And regardless of the fact that the Bulls players were there, the distance was too short for them to try and cover and hold up the ball. And that's it, game over. Well done to the Leeds Rhinos ladies for winning. With 3.5 to go, that is game over. But what an effort from both sides. A thoroughly enjoyable afternoon starting with Women's Super League on Bulls Live on Proper Sport.
Rhiannon Marshall strikes the pose. That one's gone wide. So, Bradford Bulls 16, Leeds Rhinos 32. The closing embers of this one. Tom, do you want to do the honours? A lady of the match?
I'd have to give it to Forsell, the only person who's sort of been the general for the Leeds Rhinos. And Rhinos, the way that they've got about this game, when they've defended, there's been a lot of sloppy penalties, particularly within their own 20. But it's got to go to Forsell, who's absolutely generalled this Rhinos team to beating the Bradford Bulls. What a message. We talked about it earlier. What a message. So that'd have to be my lady of the match.
Claire Garner kicks towards Beth Lockwood. Protects the ball there, and here goes Beth Lockwood. She goes down the middle, 10 shy of halfway, centre of the field. Leeds looking for more points. 2 minutes remaining here at Odsall. They've already got the undefeated record off the Bulls, and they've just come off a little error there as Lewis Fussell got a little bit excited as she ran into Stacey Greenwood and Chrissy Nettleton. And let's not forget that the injury to Amy Hardcastle. Will be speaking to Mark Prescott, the Bradford Bulls head coach at full time, and hopefully it's nothing too serious. But it will be a first defeat in over 2 years for the Bradford Bulls women's team. Savannah Andrade out of dummy half, still going right to the end. 90 seconds remaining. Maroney to Greenwood. Greenwood to Cortman. Cortman wrapped up. 5 shy of the Rhinos, 40. 5 in from this main stand side. Maroney to McDonald. McDonald down the middle, wrapped up once again. Good defence, and defence really has been order of the day. Fantastic. A lot of resilience on show from both sides. Here goes Shona Hoyle. Last tackle for the Bradford Bulls. A minute remaining exactly here at Odsall. Greenwood, can they finish with a flourish? It goes to Cortman, does it, Cortman? It's gone loose, and there's a knock on there by the Leeds Rhinos fullback, and it will be one last chance for the Bulls. They'll have the scrum 10 metres out from the Rhinos line with 40 seconds remaining. They've got to form the scrum to stop the clock, which they'll do. So, we might have one more try in this game.
Be a great way to finish for the Bulls here.
Bradford then, 30 seconds remaining. 10 out from the Rhinos line. Maroney to Nettleton. Nettleton brought down. Will Maroney go? Maroney finds McDonald. McDonald's going to be wrapped up. And 10 seconds says the clock. McDonald plays the ball shy of the line, and Leeds are going to give away their 11th penalty in this match for not being square. The hooter sounds. Some of the girls in the main stand are on the feet cheering. The Bulls have one last play. Greenwood. Can they get the ball out? It's been stolen there. 2 girls in the tackle. And Sophie Robinson. We'll see. Bradford have one last penalty.
There it is again, and just another showcase of that enveloping defence, which has won the Rhinos this game. Brilliant advert for Women's Super League.
Stacey Greenwood brought down inches shy of the line. And look at the scenes from the Leeds Rhinos women's side. Unbridled joy. They have ended the Bradford Bulls' unbeaten record that stretches back nearly 2 years. What a great advert for the women's game. That attendance again, 3,568. The benchmark has been set. Congratulations to the Leeds Rhinos. Commiserations to the Bradford Bulls. What an advert.